have recommended that schools with confirmed or suspected cases of this flu strongly consider temporarily closing.
Rapid detection and treatment can't halt swine flu's progression.
With swine flu victims officially confirmed by the World Health Organization in at least 13 nations and the number of confirmed cases reaching 705, governments and healthcare practitioners have responded rapidly to minimize the threat of this combined swine-bird-human flu that has now been confirmed on all continents except Africa and Antarctica. World Health Organization's officials are now expecting to raise the level of the flu alert to phase 6, which is the highest level and indicates a global pandemic. In the United States, school closures number more than 400 across the country, with Texas alone shutting down 31 districts and sending 291,000 students home. During his weekly online address, US President Barack Obama explained that closing schools was part of a multifaceted approach to halt the virus spread.
We are taking all necessary precautions in the event that the virus does turn into something worse. The Centers for Disease Control has recommended that schools and child care facilities with confirmed cases of the virus close for up to 14 days. This is why we urge employers to allow infected employees to take as many sick days as necessary. If more schools are forced to close, we've also recommended that both parents and businesses think about contingency plans if children do have to stay home.
German flu expert Professor Georg Vogel has emphasized that rapid diagnosis is critical in treating the flu. While not specific to the swine flu, a quick test is widely available for diagnosis that can detect general influenza instantly. Patients who are quickly diagnosed and receive treatment in the form of medications such as Tamiflu tend to experience improvement, with fevers diminishing in 6 to 8 hours. Preventative measures to avoid the flu include frequent hand washings and other basic practices of good hygiene.
To aid in swine flu detection for air travellers, governments such as Kenya and Morocco have implemented protective measures for workers as well as passengers, screening mechanisms. Tunisia has installed thermal detectors to identify people coming into the country who have a fever, while others such as German airlines Lufthansa have announced that medical doctors will travel on-board flights coming from Mexico.
To understand more of the general risks and the origination of the swine flu virus, Supreme Master Television spoke with zoologist Juliette Galotli, director of Vegetarians International Voice for Animals, or VIVA, in the United Kingdom. Director Galotli described the conditions of most factory farms, which increase the risk of diseases such as the H1N1 virus.
Could you maybe talk to us about the disease element in this way of bringing up animals?
One of the huge problems with factory farming, aside from the cruelty issues, are that if you cram a lot of animals into the smallest space that you possibly can in dirty conditions, then it allows microorganisms to spread like wildfire. The other thing with animals like dairy cows, pigs, chickens, turkeys and so forth is that they're being selectively bred and modified so that their genetics are much weaker than a wild animal. So that if you get a microorganism, say a bacteria, that infects one animal, it's likely to spread through the lot. And obviously this has been one of the concerns, for example, with bird flu. It's certainly now a concern with swine flu, which is obviously sort of the hot topic of the day. But to me, the conditions that I've seen pigs kept in again and again and again all over the UK and beyond, it is no surprise to me that new diseases will be developing, and this certainly won't be the last of them that we see from factory farmed animals.
We thank Director Galotli and Vegetarians International Voice for Animals for their commitment to documenting factory farm conditions for the benefit of both humans and animals. We are also relieved to know that the new influenza is responding well to existing medicines, and appreciate the efforts of the World Health Organization, US President Obama and nations worldwide in implementing measures to protect public health. Our prayers for the swift recovery of all who have been affected by this disease, and that people everywhere are encouraged to turn to a plant-based diet for greater physical well-being and peace of mind.
Vegetarianism in religion. The Baha'i Faith. Regarding the eating of animal flesh and abstinence therefrom, know thou of a certainty that, in the beginning of creation, God determined the food of every living being, and to eat contrary to that determination is not approved. Selections from the Baha'i writings on some aspects of health and healing.
Buddhism. All meats eaten by living beings are of their own relatives. Lankavatara Sutra.
Kaodai. The most important thing is to stop killing, because animals also have souls and understand like humans. If we kill and eat them, then we owe them a blood debt. Teachings of the Saints.
Christianity. Meats for the belly and the belly for meats, but God shall destroy both it and them. Holy Bible.
And while the flesh was yet between their teeth, ere it was chewed, the wrath of the Lord was kindled against the people, and the Lord smote the people with a very great plague. Holy Bible.
Confucianism. All men have a mind which cannot bear to see the sufferings of others. The superior man, having seen the animals alive, cannot bear to see them die. Having heard their dying cries, he cannot bear to eat their flesh. Mencius.
Essenes. I am come to end the sacrifices and feasts of blood, and if ye cease not offering and eating of flesh and blood, the wrath of God shall not cease from you. Gospel of the Holy 12.
Hinduism. Since you cannot bring killed animals back to life, you are responsible for killing them. Therefore, you are going to hell. There is no way for your deliverance. Adi Lila.
He who desires to augment his own flesh by eating the flesh of other creatures lives in misery in whatever species he may take his birth. Mahabharata. Anu.
Islam. Allah will not give mercy to anyone except those who give mercy to other creatures. Hadith.
Do not allow your stomachs to become graveyards of animals. Hadith.
Jainism. A true monk should not accept such food and drink as has been especially prepared for him involving the slaughter of living beings. Sutra Kritanga.
Judaism. And whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, that eateth any manner of blood, I will even set my face against that soul that eateth blood, and will cut him off from among his people. Holy Bible. Blood meaning flesh.
Sikhism. Those mortals who consume marijuana, flesh, and wine, no matter what pilgrimages, fasts, and rituals they follow, they will all go to hell. Guru Granth Sahib.
Taoism. Do not go into the mountain to catch birds in nets, nor to the water to poison fishes and minnows. Do not butcher the ox that plows your field. Tract of the Quiet Way.
Tibetan Buddhism. The offering to the deities of meat obtained by killing animate beings is like offering a mother the flesh of her own child, and this is a grievous failure, the supreme path of discipleship.
Zoroastrianism. Those plants I, Ahura Mazda, or God, rain down upon the earth to bring food to the faithful and fodder to the beneficent cow. Avesta.
Everybody knows that vegetarian diet is good for health and to save the planet. They will be awakening their own great, compassionate, loving self-nature, and then their level of consciousness will rise up automatically, and they will understand more than they ever did, and they'll be closer to heaven than what they are right now.